depict her perspective, but to somehow try to convey some aspect of her experience was what we were attracted to. So that, in terms of the camera, where does the camera go? How high is the camera? How much does the camera stay on each character? How much does the camera stay on Maisie? Those are the kinds of questions that we were talking about with Giles. But also, how does the light in the movie help keep the film from feeling maudlin? Because the story could easily tip towards maudlin, and we were very, very concerned about that, because we wanted to have the lightness of a child's feeling or experience, as I was saying. So those are all the kinds of things that we were talking about. But I think to some degree, some of what you're seeing also is the beautiful work of our production designer, our longtime production designer, Kelly McGeehee, who is here today. Kelly, where are you? There she is. And I appreciate your response. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Alexander a question. Perhaps you could just talk about your experience in terms of how you came to be working on the project and maybe some of your favorite moments while filming.
Well, I met the guys about 1.5 years ago in LA, and I liked them. And I'd seen The Deep End. I thought it was a great film, and read the script. It was a very, very good script. I'd read the novel a couple of years ago, and it was just a very interesting take on it. We were supposed to shoot it, and we did shoot it last August of last year. And I work on a television show and for 7 months out of the year, and I just wrapped the season. And it was just kind of refreshing to do something that's quite different from the character I play on the show. So, thanks. It's just, that's kind of what I look for when I read scripts. You know, when you have that 5 months off, that hiatus, you want challenges, you want to do, try different things. But I was a little nervous because it's all about Maisie, obviously. And there are a lot of little starlets in Hollywood, and a lot of them were, interested in this part. But it was just, we talked a lot about it as well before we found Onata, that it's so important to find someone who's real and just there and not, And I think we did. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay, we have time for a couple more questions. Just want to make sure I get, yes, sort of in the center.
Just to follow up with Alexander, just wondering, were most of the scenes between you, were they exactly as scripted, or was there a lot of room for ad that you don't see and stuff like that?
Kind of a bit of both, I would say. We definitely, it was scripted, but then we had a lot of fun with it and played around with it, and definitely those scenes were the Monopoly and when we're drawing that castle and that kind of stuff, we just kind of had fun with it.
Monopoly, other than a couple of lines of dialogue at the end of the scene where they're playing Monopoly at the end of the movie, other than those couple of lines of dialogue, it was almost entirely, it was the three of them having a good time and really coming up with it on their own. It was, it was very close quarters, and we were behind we were shooting it with 2 cameras, and we were kind of tucked in, but we had to keep ourselves from laughing because they were just having such a good time, and it was so infectious.
Okay, on the balcony, yes.
Question, when you're doing such a powerful movie and you've got young people involved, how do you film it so that they don't have that emotional impact on their day-to-day lives?
You're referring to me?
Did everybody get that one?
No.
So I'll just repeat it. So the question was about, when you're filming such an emotional movie like that, how do you prevent it from having kind of, a negative impact on the day-to-day life of the young characters and young actors that you're working with?
So, that's something we worried a bit about, you can imagine. We had the good fortune in working with Onata, of also working with Onata's mother, who was on set every day, and she's here right now, Valentine. She is a very sensitive mother and cares a lot about her daughter, and they have a great relationship. I think we really relied on Valentine to kind of keep Onata, kind of comfortable with the day's work and keep her feeling comfortable kind of in the environment we were working in. And she also was her coach and kind of prepped her for the day's work kind of before she got to set. So she kind of understood what we were doing and kind of was all kept in the context of, having a nice, enjoyable, and professional time on set. And couldn't have done it without her, so thank you.
It's also, just to add to that, just in terms of the filmmaking process, you have to remember when you're making movies, they're made in very small, discrete bits. So, the sustained kind of feeling that you get, which I hope you get from the film, that isn't really the way it's felt when you're actually making the movie. So we think there's some relief in that.
Okay, one last one before we go. I'll go up to the balcony again. Yes.
Julianne Moore keeps us on the knife edge this whole movie, and her character very often tilts toward the extreme negative. What insights can you tell us about how she played that role?
So the question was about Julianne Moore's performance, and she's often keeping us, on the knife edge in a very extremely negative way. If you have any insight into how she went about preparing for that.
Well, it has nothing to do with her actual personality, because she's a doll. I'm not sure I have an answer to that, other than Julie's an amazing actor, and she's played so many different kinds of roles, and I think she was able to just inhabit the way we had talked about with her, Susanna's, what Susanna's character was comprised of. The music that you hear that is Susanna Nunn's music in the movie they're actually songs of the band The Kills. And so Julie got to know Alison Mossart a little bit, and Julie sang those songs, but we took Alison's vocal off those, and Julie re-recorded them. So she did research that way. I don't think there's a trick with Julie other than great experience and great talent.
Okay, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you all for coming back.